and nothing but the continent. Mr. Speaker, when I take my eyes and throw them over the vast expanse of this expansive country, when I see how the yeast of freedom has caused it to rise in a scale of civilization and extension on every side, when I see it growing, swelling, roaring like a spring freshet, when I see all this, I cannot resist the idea, sir, that the day will come when this great nation, like a young schoolboy, will burst its straps and become entirely too big for its boots. Sir, we want elbow room, the continent, the whole continent, and nothing but the continent, and we will have it. Then shall Uncle Sam be placing his hat upon the Canadas, and rest his arm on Oregon and California coast, and left his eastern seaboard and whittle away the British power while reposing his leg like a freeman upon Cape Horn. Sir, that day will, that day must come. Manifest Destiny. Mr. Chairman, the population of the Valley of the Mississippi already constitutes more than one-third of the entire population of the Union. And, sir, the time is not distant when the seat of empire, the stronghold of numerical power, will be west of the Alleghanies. The handwriting is on the wall. It is manifest destiny, sir. It is written on the signs and times in clear, fresh, and unmistakable lines. The same flag that flashes its stars to the sun on the banks of the Hudson and Potomac is hailed by millions and rejoicing freemen on the banks of the Mississippi and the Columbia. Within the last 5 years, 3 new states have been added to the Union, and there is territory at the head of the Missouri and the Arkansas and the territories of Nebraska, New Mexico, Utah, and Oregon. And the vision of an ocean-bound republic is now a reality. Sir, what is mighty theater for American enterprise? What a mighty course for the race of the democratic liberty! It is already our boast as a nation, sir, that we enjoy more liberty, a more universal diffusion of knowledge, and a more exalted national character than any nation on the globe. But the striking feature of the American character is its enterprise. An enterprise that knows no obstacles, counts no cost, fears no dangers, and triumphs over all obstacles. Proudest bird on the mountain. Our country is yet to be the infancy of its being, and yet 3 centuries old. And our settlements are but specks dotted around upon the edge of the map of the continent. The great heart of America, with its treasures as precious as life streams, is yet to go unexplored and almost unknown. This bill, enacted into law, shall give civilization and life throughout the silent gorges and gentle sweeping valleys far away to the deep recesses of the continent. Where it leads the way, there shall go in triumph the American standard, the old flag of the Union. And when once planted, it shall never again be trailed in dust. The proudest bird upon the mountain is upon the American sign, and not one feather shall fall from her plumage here. She is American by design, and emblem of wildness and freedom. I say again, she has not perched herself upon American standards to die here. Our great western valleys were never scoped out for her burial place, nor were the everlasting untrodden mountains piled for her monument. Niagara shall not pour her endless waters for her requiem, nor shall our 10,000 rivers weep in the ocean for eternal tears. No, sir, no. Unnumbered voices shall come up from the river, plain, mountain, echoing the songs of our triumphant deliverance, while lights from 1,000 hilltops will betoken the rising of the sun and freedom, and shall grow brighter and brighter until a perfect day. Speech on the Oregon question. Yet the time is not far off when the locomotive will be steaming its way to the Rocky Mountains, with a mighty big train of cars running after her. Yes, the whistle of the engine will echo through the southwest, past the sharply hints of the free people of the great territory, and approach the hundreds of thousands, too, who are to be their neighbors. No, sir, the time is not far distant, when our conference with China will equal that of the world, when the Pacific Ocean will be crossed with such an ease as the frog pond of the Boston Common. Yes, Mr. Speaker, as my eloquent friend from the Hoosier State remarks, men of blood and friends of General Washington and that old hoss, General Jackson, I want your attention. The lightning has burst upon us, and Jupiter has poured out the eye of his wrath. Thunder has broke loose and slipped its cable, and is now rattling down the mighty valley of the Mississippi, accompanied by the music of the alligator hornpipe. Citizens and fellows, on the bloody ground which our fathers commodominously poured out their claret free as isle, and to enrich the soil over which now we honor and watch the hyenas and the catamount of the inner varmint loose and prepare the engines of vengeance, for the long-looked-for day has come. The crocodile of the Mississippi has gone into his hole, and the son that lit King David from his host across the Atlantic Sea looks down upon the scene and drops a tear to its memory. I am with you, and while the stars of Uncle Sam and the stripes of this country triumph and float in the breeze, war, war, in the cavern, low-lived, chaliant bred, toad-hopping, red-mouthed mother's son, Z, will not raise the beacon of light of triumph, snouse the citadel of the aggressor, and press onward to liberty and glory. Whoa, hurrah! Where is the enemy? The Wonder State. Whereas it is an admitted fact that the state of Arkansas excels all others in natural resources, its store of mineral wealth being practically inexhaustible, and its vast forests supplying pine and hardwood in quantities sufficient to place the state in the forefront, and its agricultural and horticultural prowess recognized not only in the United States, but in foreign countries as well. And whereas the publicity campaign of the Arkansas Advancement Association has so indelibly stamped upon the mind of the world that Arkansas is the Wonder State, and whereas the title is so befitting, while the old one, the Bear State, is a misnomer and leads to false impression, while the Wonder State is accurate and is deserving of special recognition. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the State and the Senate of Arkansas, the House of Representatives Concurrent, that we accept the name the Wonder State given us by the Patriotic Association, which has done much to acquaint the world with Arkansas and its wealth of resource, and we hereby specifically proclaim that hereafter Arkansas shall be known and styled the Wonder State. Uncle Sam. The most striking and picturesque in all history is a picture of a lean and sinewy old man with long hair and chin whiskers, and wearing an old-fashioned plug hat. His pantaloons are in stripes of red and white, and his blue swallowtail coat is bespangled with stars. He is the personification of the United States, and we call him Uncle Sam. He is a composite of the wildcat and the crooning dove and the lion and the lamb, and the summer evening's last sigh that shuts the rose. He is the embodiment of all that is most terrible. The world stands appalling at his wonderful power, and bows in admiration to his matchless magnanimity. He is the tallest figure of this mundane sphere, and when he steps across the continent and sits down on Pike's Peak and snorts in his handkerchief of red, white, and blue, the earth quakes and the monarchs tremble from their thrones. From the peaceful walks of life he can mobilize a mighty army in 60 days, and in 90 days he can destroy a powerful navy and demolish an empire. He is the boss of the Western Hemisphere, sheriff of Cuba, justice of the peace of Puerto Rico, and guardian of ad etum of the Philippine Islands. He is as brave as Caesar and as meek as Moses. He is as fierce as a tiger and cool as a cucumber. He wears the tail feathers of the eagle of France in his hat, and the scalp of Mexico in his belt. He laughs at the roar of the Russian bear and is always ready for a schooner of German beer. All that is left of Spain is her Juana since her combat with Uncle Sam. No longer the Lion of England roars at our door, but the twain now stand together for liberty and humanity. In the land of Dixie. I'd love to live in the land of Dixie under the soft southern skies where the summer pours out her flood of sunshine and showers, and the generous earth smiles with plenty. I'd love to live on southern soil where the cotton fields wave their white banners of peace and the wheat fields wave back their banners of gold from the hills and valleys which were once drenched with blood and heroes. I'd love to live when the mockingbirds flutter and sing of the shadowy coves and the bright waters ripple in eternal melody with the graves of our heroes are buried. I'd love to breathe the southern air that comes filtered through jungles of roses, whispering the story of southern deeds of bravery. I love to drink the southern springs and southern babbling brooks, which once cooled the lips of Lee and Jackson and Forrest and Jordan, and mourn in the weary columns of brave men who wore the gray. I love to live among the southern men and women where every heart is as warm as a southern sunshine and every home is a temple of love and liberty. I love to listen to the sweet old southern melodies which touch the soul and melt the heart and awaken life's 10,000 precious memories of the happy long ago when the old-time darkies used to laugh and sing and the old-time black mammoths used children to slumber with their lullabies. But oh, the music that thrills me most is a melody that died away on the lips of many a Confederate soldier as he sank into the sleep that no one knows walking. I'm glad I am in Dixie. We will show you. Caney, Queen City of the B.I.T. in the Choctaw Nation, the garden spot of Indian Territory, surrounded by a healthful and productive county, inhabited by a high class of prosperous and contented people. Come and grow and prosper with us. Pryor Creek, Indian Territory, a good moral town and sociable people, plenty of room for pushing progressive people. Watch Eufaula grow, the best town in the best country in Oklahoma. We don't have to prove it. We admit it. The Gulf Coast country of Texas is the world's garden spot, and St. Louis, Brownsville, and Mexico Railway traverses it from end to end. Opportunities there are golden now. Great, grand, glorious Texas. Its stupendous resources can hardly be exaggerated. A mild climate, fertile soil, thrifty, healthy people. 90% of prospectors from the other states become permanent settlers. IGN, the Texas Railroad. Nuances River Valley, Paradise. Located in the middle plain between East Texas, where it rains too much, and the arid section of West Texas, where it does not rain enough, there is a constant sea breeze to make cool summers and warm winters without snow or hard freezes. There are no blizzards, no tornadoes, no earthquakes, nor cyclones. Where the flowers bloom 10 months of the year, where the greatest variety of products can be grown, where the farmers and gardeners, whose seasons never end, eat homegrown June vegetables in January and bask in midwinter balmy air and the glorious sunshine, where the land yield is enormous and the prices always remunerative, where something can be planted and harvested every month of the year, where the climate is so mild that the northern farmer here saves practically all his fuel bills and three-fourths of the cost of clothing his family in the north, where the country is advancing and property values rapidly increasing, where all stock, without any feed, fatten, winter and summer on the native grasses and brush which equal many feed pen, where the same land yields the substantials of the temperate and the luxuries of the tropic zones, where the farmer does not have to work hard 6 months in the year to raise, feed, and kick his stock from dying during winter, as they do in the north and northwest, where the winter does not consume what the summer produces, and where the markets for all are produced, where 2 full crops of the same kind, 3 vegetable crops, or 4 mixed crops can be raised from the same land in 1 year, where the vegetation is so rapid that 2 years the home is surrounded by trees and shrubs which would require 5 years to develop in a colder climate, where there are no aristocrats, and people do not have to work hard to have plenty and to go in the best society, where 10 acres judiciously planted in fruits will soon make one independence, all varieties being wonderfully successful and profitable, where the natives work less and have more to show for what they do than any country on earth, where houses, barns, and fences can be built for less than the half of the cost of the north, where the average temperature is about 60 degrees, varying from 50 in the winter to 90 in the summer, which is rendered cool by constant sea breezes, where the average rainfall for the past 5 years is over 39 inches, and well distributed, as shown in the government's report, which is more than some of the older states have, where sunstrokes and heat prostrations are unknown, where the residents have charming homes surrounded by trees and flowers in a semi-tropical climate, where sufferers with asthma, bronchitis, catarrh, hay fever, and throat troubles find relief, where one can work outdoors in short sleeves without inconvenience 29 out of every 30 days of the year. We're surrounded by fruits and vegetables which ripen every month in the year. Living is better and less expensive than in the north. where the water is pure, soft, and plentiful, where the laws protect both the investor and the settler, where the people are so law-abiding that usually only 2 days of district courts every 6 months are required to dispose of all the civil and criminal business, where the taxes are so low that the amount is never missed, where the public and private schools and churches of all denominations are plentiful, where peace, plenty, and goodwill prevail to such an extent that the people sleep with their doors and windows open the year round without danger of molestation, where it is so healthy that people rarely die, except from accident or severe old age. He shall not want. For my own part, I believe it should not be the policy of the government to derive a revenue from the sale of a land, any more than from the sale of the air or the sunshine. These natural elements and auxiliaries well bottle up as one as deed away the other. The great demand was, when our earth came fresh, green, and beautiful from a divine hand, to take it, to people, and subdue it. I am, sir, for opening these lands to the landless of every nation under heaven. With 160 acres of God's free earth under a man in his own right, and genial skies above him, he shall not want. For seed time and harvest, winter and summer, night and day shall not fail him, till the heavens be no more. I need not disguise the fact that while this system of small farms in a quarter section of land will greatly represent the wealth, strength, and glory of the Republic, this conducing of human happiness, near and remote, now and for all ages, still a consequence that by the virtue of the same law it will secure the entire public domain to human freedom forever. The pioneer struggling amidst many discouragements upon the frontier prairies of the West comes nearer obeying the divine injunction to gain his bread by the sweat of his brow than any other man. The men who have, from their circumstances and education, been inured with self-reliance, can safely volunteer as soldiers of civilization on its onward progress across the continent, from the great valleys of the Mississippi and the Missouri to the shores of the Pacific. The man who is able to put all he owns on earth into one canvas-covered wagon, wife, children, household goods, and all move at a slow pace into what has been called the wilderness of the West, far out upon the frontier, beyond all law and civilization, and there plant himself down upon a homestead for life, as doing the work for himself, his family, for civilization, country, and for God, and that will never be fully unknown, or its influence told, until the final disclosure.